As you guys all know, I love receiving emails with questions about our industries. Whatever I can answer, I will answer. Whatever I don't have an answer for, I'm a very straight up person. I'll tell you I don't know. But I received a very interesting email that I thought that we would all be able to benefit from these questions. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably wondering these same things. So let's get right down to it. So I received an email. Question number 1. Can a driver from the US with US driver's license work in Canada with a Canadian company, and also vice versa for Canadian drivers in the US? So here is the actual rule. So the rule is that a Canadian can go into the US. So just like our fleet, we have a fleet here in Concord, Ontario, and our drivers that are Canadian, they go into the US, they do a delivery, and then they pick up a load from the US and come back into Canada. That's what we are allowed to do. What we're not allowed to do is carry any trailer inter-US. So I'm not allowed to take a trailer from Illinois and take it to Georgia. I cannot take a trailer from New York and take it anywhere within New York. The only thing that I can do is I can take an empty trailer, I can get loaded, and then I can come back to Canada. So the same thing works for American drivers coming into Canada. Yes, American drivers can come into Canada. They can do a delivery, they can do a pickup or pick up a loaded trailer, and then back out they go into the US. What they cannot do is pick up a trailer in Ontario and go to Montreal or go to Quebec or go to New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. So that's really the rules between Canada and the US. So Canadians can go into the US and Americans can go into Canada. Now, can a Canadian work for an American company? Probably not. Just like we cannot hire American drivers in our Concord terminal, we can't hire an American driver because the American does not have a status to work here in Canada and doesn't have a SIN number. Same thing with our Canadian drivers. They cannot work for an American company that does interstates. But now that we opened up a terminal in Atlanta, Georgia, now we're able to hire American drivers and do interstate loads with that American fleet. Before, so for the last 17 years of the existence of ET Transport, we were not allowed to do interstate loads. Now that we're opening up, or now that we've opened up a US terminal, yes, we can do interstate loads and hire American drivers in our US terminal in Atlanta, Georgia. Second question, if I have a violation, 1 demerit point on my record with my car as a company owner, how do you look at it while hiring? So if you have 1 demerit point, it also depends when you got this demerit point, when you got this speeding ticket, when you got this violation, right? If it's something that's in your car, yes, we do look at it. Are we very stringent about it? No. So our hiring policy says that we can hire a driver with up to 2 demerit points, but they can't be within the last 6 months, something around those guidelines. I don't know the exact, but how do we look at that? So we look at it with 1 demerit point. You can get 1 demerit point for not having your insurance certificate on you. You can have a 1 demerit point with not having your class 1 license on you, or I can get 1 in my car for just literally, not having my insurance certificate or my sticker is expired. So it really 1 demerit point. I don't think, it is looked upon, but it's not gonna make it or break it for you to get that job. If you had a couple of speeding tickets, or if you had 1 speeding ticket followed by another violation, yes, we would not be able to hire you. Or if you had more than 2 demerit points, we would not be able to hire you here. And I think a lot of the companies in the US are the same. It's not that we don't wanna hire you, it's just that statistically, I think those drivers have like 1,000% more chance of getting into an accident within the first year than somebody who doesn't have those demerit points. And that's why. Last but not least, can you recommend some companies that hire in Canada drivers with good pay rates, mileage, and good reputation? So I really don't like to do this, and I don't like to recommend companies, because a company that I look at that is good for me might not be a company that's good for you. What I do recommend is that with any job that you go into, I want you to go and search their Google reviews, and Google reviews will tell you a lot about a company. It'll tell you a lot about how they treat their drivers. It'll tell you a lot about how they dismiss their drivers. So if they dismiss without notice, or if they withhold pay, or if they, if they have faulty equipment, if they have any one of those, the funny skits that I do between drivers and drivers, a lot of it you'll pick up on their Google reviews. Now, if a company has only been in business for a year or 2, or if a company has, a couple of really bad reviews about withholding pay, you stay away from those companies. Any Google reviews with multiple Google reviews with bad equipment or faulty equipment, or they made me drive with faulty equipment, you stay away from those companies. Now, when you are going for an interview or you are going for a road test, any company that's willing to hire you without a road test, stay the hell away from them. Do not get into a company that will not road test you. There's a lot of information that you could pick up on a road test, even how their yard looks, how do they park their trailers, is it organized inside their yard, is their yard clean? All this stuff, I mean, you should be looking at when you're going for a road test. It's not so much also the company that's interviewing you, it's you are technically looking with whether or not this is a good fit for yourself to work for this company. Make sure you check their equipment and not just the one that you're driving for your road test. Have a look at other trucks and trailers in the yard. Is it new equipment? Is it used equipment? Is it beat up? Is there scrap there? You know, what's the condition of the yard? Have a look at other drivers. What kind of other drivers are there? That's really important on the kind of drivers that are in that facility. Another thing that you should look at is this company's hiring criteria. So if they're willing to hire drivers with 6 months experience, with a year experience, I mean, that'll tell you a lot about their safety rating. If they're hiring new drivers, they'll tell you a lot about the kind of company that they are. The more stringent they are about hiring drivers, the better the company is, and you will feel comfortable working there. If a company has an open door policy to new drivers, those new drivers are most likely gonna get violations. And if they get violations, then the company's safety score is high. And if the company's safety score is high, you're gonna be busy a lot of the times inside those scales doing level 2, level 3 inspections. Now, do you really wanna be busy with that, or do you wanna work for a company that has a clean safety rating and a fast pass where you're just flying by all these wait stations? So very, very important is their safety rating and their hiring criteria. So again, the more they have a criteria, the more, you know, if a company hires only 3+ years experience, 4+ years experience, 2+ years experience, it usually means that they're a lot more stringent on their hiring criteria because they have a clean safety and they want to keep it that way. So I will not comment on the last question on can you tell me a company. I really think that you should be asking other drivers. You should be looking, in the truck stops. If you look at the companies that other drivers are working for, talk to other drivers, see what they have to say. Are they happy with their company? Look at Google reviews. Don't forget the Google reviews, and just search online. And when you're searching online, go for the interview or talk to them over the phone and ask them a little bit about their company. I actually made a very interesting video on the top 20 questions that you should be asking as a driver to the recruiter. So make sure you check out that video, and I'll link it up in the bottom. So thank you so much to the fan that sent me this. Again, I love these kind of emails. If you do want to email me, just send me a series of questions so I'll be able to answer them. If you just send it to sponsorship@ettransport.ca. I do get all the emails, I read them, and yes, the interesting ones, I will respond to them. Sometimes I'll do a video about it, sometimes I'll just send a quick email to the person. When I know the answers, or I feel like I know the answers, I'll give you my 2 cents on what I feel. If I don't know the answer to it, I'm the first person to say that I don't know, or you should be seeking somewhere else for help. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Ronan, and remember, this channel is all about trucking. So if you're enjoying the content, make sure you share it, like it, give it a thumbs up, or put some comments down below. I'm Ronan, and I'll catch you in my next video.